Hi there. We're here for the boutique effect. Create raving fans and stop scrambling for your next client. My name is Mary Sue Dahill, founder of Work Smarter Digital, and I will give you a little more introduction in a second here. I love starting with this slide because this is how so many business owners feel all the time, that they have all these things building up that they're constantly trying to get done. And it really does detract from their ability to make connections and build their business. So hopefully you relate to feeling like the post-it note monster. So again, my name is Mary Sue Dahill. I'm founder of Work Smarter Digital. I believe that business owners need to use automation to be more successful in their business, and it makes them successful in several different ways. One, it allows them to actually do more with less because they are leveraging automation to help them get some of those repeatable routine activities done. Second, it can create better connection with potential clients because you can have a very responsive, consistent, and high touch experiences, which is what we will be talking about today. So I started my business after leaving a long career in software development, and I was providing technology management consulting services to companies, just like kind of I had in my career. And I was really enjoying learning about all these different tools that I could use as a small business owner. And I was using them in my business. I was automating things. It was a lot of fun. But what I found is that my peers were really struggling. And they didn't, one, know how to find tools that work for them. They didn't know how to implement it in their business. And they really didn't know how to think about how technology could help them in their business. So in 2019, I pivoted my business to no longer offer tech management consulting and provide small business owners with services and software that they need to help them really be more successful in their business. So I do that in a couple ways. One is through education like this, because part of it is just knowing what's possible, what's available to you as business owners. And second, I do offer an all-in-one software solution, which I'll mention at the end. Everything I talk about today is something that you could do with not only my tool, but many others. And again, I also offer what I call implementation services to help people actually do this stuff. So let's dig in to creating that boutique effect. So I'm showing you the marketing funnel, which we've all seen, going from awareness all the way down to advocacy. So I use this because it's a really simple way of understanding your client journey. Your clients go through this process of getting to know you, getting some interest in what you do and how you solve the problem they may have, to actually working with you. This whole funnel, what you need to do as a business owner is to connect all the dots from top to bottom, so that when a new contact comes into contact with your business, they get a really great experience. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is bringing the heart back into your business processes and creating a high touch experience that differentiates you as a boutique business owner. And we'll get into exactly how we do that in a minute. So what I know for sure is that anyone can create a high touch experience, that using an all-in-one CRM solution will make it's so much easier because the tools are all there that you need and they're all integrated, and there is automation built in to function seamlessly. And third, being a boutique business really simplifies the automation process because you know who your client is, how they like to be spoken to, all that kind of fun stuff. So what we're going to cover are the simple keys to being that highly attractive boutique business. And then we will learn how you are leaving tons of money on the table because you're not actually doing all that follow-up. You're putting the Post-it notes on your computer, but you're not actually taking the follow-up action because you have a lot on your plate. And third, we'll go through the 5 critical elements to create a high touch experience that really creates consistency and builds relationships with your future clients. But first, before we dig into all of that, I want to offer you my simple funnel that works to get more clients. So if you want that guide, go ahead and use the QR code to download, and you see there the actual link. And you will be entered to win one of my books, which I'll put up here, which is called The Boutique Effect. This is a great book in helping you see how you can leverage technology in your business. And it also provides automation recipes that pretty much every business owner needs. So at the end of this week, which I think will be March 10th, I will select a winner, get in contact with you, and send you a hard copy version of my book. All right, so the first thing we're going to cover are the simple keys to being a highly attractive boutique business. So as we all know, being person-centric is what really differentiates a boutique business. Before I get into these 5 keys, just to give you an example, where I live, there is this boutique store for women in their, like 40s to 60s that like to go to the resort. It's called Lemon Chiffon. And I know exactly what kind of clothing I will find there, what kind of gifts, what kind of shopping experience I will have, because they are super boutique. So not only are they person-centric, but they are hyper-focused on exactly who they serve. They're not trying to serve the economical buyer. They're trying to serve the woman that wants to spend some money on resort wear or something fancy to wear to a holiday party and she gifts. Their service is really good. They will help you find whatever you want in the store because they do offer clothes, they offer gifts, purses, like lots of different things. So it's kind of hard sometimes to find exactly what you want if you're just browsing. And again, they're hyper focused. They have a very clear target on who is their shopper. And so you know exactly what you're going to get when you go in there. It makes it very easy for me to refer to friends or people that I may meet to go there if they're looking for that kind of stuff. And they're an expert in their unique perspective on women's clothing and gift shops for their niche. And leveraging automation. So those are the 5 things that really make a boutique business. Another example that I like to share is Kimpton Hotels. So I like them because they really incorporate animals into the experience. They will allow you to bring your pet with you. They have water bowls for pets, throughout the hotel so that your pet can get a drink while you're walking around with them. And so they're hyper focused on the traveler that wants to travel with their pet, super service oriented, and they're very person centric as far as who they know as their niche. And they do leverage automation a lot. So whenever I go there, they know what other places I've been to, if I brought my kids, if I brought my pets, and the person that I'm dealing with at the in the hotel, anywhere, they have that information and they can use it to create that connection with me, which I do appreciate, even though I know they're using automation. It's a database. It's serving up information about me, but if it improves my experience, I love it. So those are the 5 keys of being a boutique business, and any business can be boutique. It really differentiates you from everyone else in your space that may not be being boutique. And as far as when you go to automate, if you know exactly who you're talking to, who your target audience is, how they like to be treated, it makes automation so much easier because your messaging is very clear. You have one, maybe two paths for communicating in any one scenario. It really can streamline the whole process because you know who your ideal client is and how they like to be treated and spoken to. So I wanted to introduce you to Janet Schefferdecker. She is an executive leadership coach, and she also uses horses in her coaching, which is really cool. So you can see that Janet is very person-centric. And she had gotten to a point in her business where she wasn't able to be as responsive as she wanted, to follow through as much as she wanted because she was busy. And she felt like she was losing that personal touch. But she was afraid to use automation. One, because she didn't totally know how to do it. But two, there's this feeling that automation eliminates the human touch and eliminates the personal experience that someone has. But in working with her and setting up her systems, she really feels that she is able to do more personal touch with people because those routine, repetitive activities she's defined and automated. And they are personal and they are still high touch, but she's not actually doing them. What she is able to do is spend more time with one-on-one kind of engagement with people that are higher value to the person. So she's able to focus in her time on things that are going to have a bigger bang for her buck. And that has been a huge benefit to her in her business. All right, so this is always fun. Now, I know this is a virtual event, so it's a little harder to do this exercise as a group. I'll try and make it fun as we go through. So, we're going to learn how you are leaving tons of money on the table because you're not following up. Follow-up is so key to creating a high-touch experience. If somebody reaches out to you and there's no follow-up, it doesn't feel very personalized, and they don't feel like you care about them. So follow-up is key. All right. So in this exercise, you can pause I'm assuming you pause this recording and just take a moment to think about it. So what I want you to do is to, in your mind, have a dollar value for one new client in a 12-month period. So just take a moment. How much is that worth you? One new client for 1 year. I'm going to pause for 2 seconds. All right. Now that you have that dollar amount, we're going to go on to the next step, which is I want you to list 3 follow-up activities that, if you did them consistently and perfectly, could possibly change your business. So I'm going to give you a couple moments to think about that. All right, now don't skip through these parts. This can be very powerful. Lots of ahas here. So finally, if you were following up intentionally and consistently over the next year, how many more clients could you convert? So, and I'll go into an example with my own business in a moment here. How much more revenue would that be in your business? Since you know how much one client would bring you in a year, if you're able to convert 5 more clients, how much revenue is that? And how would that change your business or your life? All right, so here's just an example in my business. So the value of one client in their first year, if they have purchased the Work Smarter CRM, is $1,788. Some follow-up activities that, if I was doing perfectly, could have an impact on my business are networking follow-up. So if I go to a networking event and I meet somebody that I think would be a good connection, a center of influence, a referral partner, or even a client, am I following up to schedule time to get to know them more? Prospect follow-up, that's really important. So maybe I had a discovery call with somebody. Did I follow up after the discovery call in any way? We all know that maybe the person was doing some research in the call. They weren't ready to take action, but they were interested and they wanted you to reconnect in, maybe 30, 60 days. Did you, is the question there. And if you did, would you have more conversions of prospects? Another one is after an engagement. So maybe you have a service project that you did, but you definitely could be offering them additional services after that one is done. Are you scheduling some sort of follow-up after an engagement is done to stay connected, stay top of mind, and potentially sell them into another engagement? Honestly, all three of those are low-hanging fruit for any business. Those are all opportunities where you've personally met someone, and it's slightly warmer than a total stranger who's opted in on a lead magnet. So do you have follow-up activities set up for that? And then, so how many clients and how much revenue does that translate into? So if I was doing all of those follow-up activities perfectly in a year, I think I could get 10 new clients from that, especially for me, the networking follow-up and the prospect follow-up are key for me to stay on top of. And I can do that a couple ways. I could set reminders for myself. I can automate the actual follow-up on that set timeline. So there's lots of ways that I could do it. So if I got 10 new clients just from doing that follow-up, it would be almost $18,000. That's huge when you're considering a small business and how much is being brought in for the annual year. That could be an additional 10, 20% of their revenue. So I want to know, I hope you got some aha out of that and kind of insight into the importance of follow-up and started thinking about, well, why am I not doing it? All right, so we're going to move into the 5 elements of a high-touch experience, which totally relates to follow-up. Because what we're trying to do is bring the heart back into this marketing funnel. How do you create that relationship building experience in the marketing funnel that feels so kind of feels like a process? It doesn't feel very much like a relationship building experience. But there are lots of ways that you could bring that heart back in there. So intentionality is number one. And when we're talking about follow-up, that's where it links up, right? Because you may intend to follow up after a networking event, but if you don't, well, your intention doesn't matter, right? So your automated systems need to be easy for you to use so that you can follow through on your intention. So what I have set up is a small little automation where when I meet somebody at a networking event, I add them into my automation to reach out to them to schedule a one-to-one just to get to know them better. That's all I have to do. And then it has 2 or 3 follow-up emails to remind them to schedule because, we're all busy. So that's being intentional. Same with prospecting, or not prospecting, but after a discovery call, I have a follow-up sequence to stay in touch and continue the education process if they are not ready now, giving them kind of educational material about CRMs over a period of time. And I do know people find that incredibly helpful, and they see me as kind of a partner expert in the space. So when they are ready, they do come back. So that's how intentionality works. What is your intention with how you're going to build relationships with people? The second, personalization, is pretty straightforward. However, there are ways to even bring it in more. So one is just being able to use someone's first name. When you have a lead magnet on your website and you are just asking for the email, you are eliminating a way to personalize. So I always ask for first name and email because I want to be able to personalize my follow-up email with them. But I can also personalize based on what lead magnet they selected. I could send them into a drip campaign that is very targeted to that topic area. So personalization can happen based on the actions of the contact person, what actions they're taking, and your intentional follow-up after that can be very specific to that topic area. Third, now this one's one of my favorite ones: standardize more and customize less. This really should be a mantra for all business owners. Standardize more, customize less. When we start a small business, we're doing it with these big passion intentions, and we want to respond to everyone's needs, because in the end, as a small business, that's what we see as our power, is that we can be more responsive, that we can accommodate different people. But it can also create a lot of chaos in our business. So where you can standardize, you should. Not that you have to standardize everything. And the two places that customization creates chaos are in the actual contract process. If every contract is totally unique, it's time consuming for you to create it, and it delays from when the person says yes to when they're signing on the dotted line or even making their first payment. So can you standardize that more so that it's a faster transition? We don't want people to step away and get cold feet, and you're losing a potential sale there. The other is in payments. So again, that's another place where people do a lot of customization. They will create a customized payment plan for every single person. So that's just, again, it's not sustainable from a, as you get more and more clients, or if a lot of clients come in at the same time, it can, again, slow down when you're actually getting paid, because you're taking time to create these really customized payment plans. So define your payment plan strategy and just stick with it. That is one thing that will serve you over and over. There are other places where you can look at standardizing more and customizing less, for sure, but those are two where I see a lot of people trip up. So fourth is surprise and delight. Now, this we can all relate to, right? I love being surprised. And if I like exactly what I'm getting, it's delight. So in a small business, we can do this in many different ways. We could send a handwritten note at a key point during an engagement. We can send a special gift at the end of an engagement. We can offer a free 30-minute strategy session to people that downloaded a specific lead magnet. And I hope that for the person that wins my book, The Boutique Effect, they find that to be a surprise and delight when they receive it in the mail. So lots of ways to incorporate surprise and delight. Now, intentionality here is really important in kind of identifying when you want to incorporate those sorts of things, so that you can either be notified that it's time to take action on that surprise and delight, or you could potentially automate the actual giving of something. But it does require thought as to when those touches happen. And finally, connecting all the dots. This is so important. I'm going to go back one slide here. So when you're looking at this, this is the other problem I see with a lot of people's customer experience, is that they're not connecting the dots from each of these phases. So that creates a very disjointed experience for your customer or your client. And then they don't have that feeling that you really get them, that you're consistent, that you're following through. And those disconnects could be as simple as someone fills out a lead magnet page on your website, and instead of it having an autoresponder, it's sending you personally an email to take action, and it takes you a few days to actually take that action. Those are places where you have disconnects in your system. Or when you do mostly networking as your awareness in your business, but you don't have any kind of follow-up process set up, that's a huge disconnect. So really understanding what your marketing funnel is and how you're going to nurture relationships throughout the process helps you connect the dots, and then being able to implement these other 4 elements. So I hope that was helpful to understand what creates that high touch experience, even when you are automating it. And probably one thing I didn't put in here is just knowing when automation is not right. Knowing when you have to have that human touch inserted in the experience is more important. And certainly those happen. And again, it's just being intentional with when you're using technology and when you're doing it yourself. So take a moment to take a breath and ask yourself, are your current systems high touch? Do you have places where you're not connecting the dots properly in your customer journey? I do find a lot of people raise their hand here. They kind of look like a deer in the headlights a little bit because they don't have, they definitely do not have things that are connected. And although they have intentions, they have not laid out those intentions as a process of any kind, even if it were a manual process at this point. So those are usually 2 big takeaways people have at this point. All right, so to deliver a high touch experience as a boutique business, you do need technology. And what I have here are the 3 phases essentially of the marketing funnel: lead generation, qualifying, and then sales and service. So you can see there is a lot of technology to help you automate your high touch experience. And you can, this is where I find a lot of people fall into the trap of, fall into the trap of having a different tool for each of these needs. And so they end up with what I call like a constellation of technology. And when you have that experience, it's very difficult to connect everything and have it be a seamless experience. You will have to become a Zapier expert to be able to connect all your different tools. And when you're doing it that way, it does work most of the time, but there are always little fiddly things that happen that, it just creates complexity. So my recommendation is always to look at an all-in-one type solution. I offer an all-in-one type solution, the Work Smarter CRM, where it has all of those features that I listed on the other slide, and they do integrate very well together, and it's built to automate. So you wouldn't need any other tool that eliminates a lot of complexity and stress. You'd be working with one support team with learning one tool, and you would have that one solution that's really helping your whole business. So with what I do with my clients is I offer the software as well as I help them with the actual implementation, and that makes it a totally different experience than when you're just purchasing the tool. So when you're looking for a solution, again, look for an all-in-one solution, and where you can find implementation support, because you can buy the tool, but it doesn't set itself up on its own. All right. So I want you to take a breath again and say, what if you didn't have to do all of that? What if you didn't have to manage all of your technology, set up all of your automations by yourself, be frustrated by having to watch a bunch of YouTube videos to learn a technology that you really is not in your zone of genius? What if you could get the support you need and the one tool that will help you really make a difference in your business? How would that make you feel? For most of my clients, they feel a great deal of peace of mind when they're working with Work Smarter Digital, because they have one tool that they can learn and they can get real person support in implementing if they choose to do it on their own, and they appreciate not only our implementation services, but also just the ability to talk through the strategy. So it brings a lot of peace of mind. And if that's what you're looking for, you want your systems to work seamlessly, to deliver on your intentions, and to be high touch, I'm inviting you to work with us. If you're ambitious and kind of ready for a change, or you're tired of scrambling to make it all work, that is definitely what I hear from a lot of my clients, and you really want to follow up intentionally and consistently, please schedule a Work Smarter audit. We can talk through what your business goals are, what tech you're using, and how you could be getting more out of your technology in support of your business. Again, it's worksmarteraudit.com. Schedule a discussion with me, and we will talk through what makes most sense for your business. So, and if you schedule, I should have updated this since it's virtual. If you schedule this week, you will also receive a digital version of the Boutique Effect, which has a lot of great information on how to leverage technology in your business, as well as 8 automation recipes that most businesses need. So again, Work Smarter Audit. I would love to talk to you and help you implement your intentional customer journey. And if you would like to get how a simple funnel works to get you more clients guide, use this QR code to download, and you will be entered to win a hard copy of my book, The Boutique Effect, which I will send out at the end of this week. So you have until Thursday to register, and I'll send it out on Friday. All right. So I want to leave you with this, that automation is the manifestation of your intention. And if you're interested in getting in touch with me, here's my contact information. It's been lovely going through this today with you. I hope that you got a fair amount out of it as to how you can create a high touch experience in your business to create raving fans and stop scrambling for clients. Have a great rest of your day.